Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Harihi Om.
That which we call the outer world is perfect. This which we call the inner world is perfect. Each one filled with divine consciousness. Perfect comes from perfect. Take perfect from perfect. The remainder is perfect. Divine consciousness is non-dual. Anything that emerges from the divine consciousness is whole, is complete, is Purna. May peace and peace and peace be everywhere. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate.
I welcome everybody. It is our last episode of the Purnamadah Season 3, and we have Riddhi Khurana as our guest. Hi, Riddhi, how are you?
Hello, ma'am. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm also
Thanks
fine.
for having me.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure for me. Riddhi, I was surprised to see your resume. You apparently have a bachelor's in technology and master's in business administration. After 10 years of a successful IT career, you drop it all and you come to the training as a past life regression therapist. And you very beautifully have written that you felt that existence was more than just finding bugs in your software.
Yes.
And you wanted to do some people oriented roles. And I mean, I'm surprised to see that you're actually um, doing some amazing work teaching. You've done your diploma in children's services in Australia, as you're now there. And you're now a trainer at the children's services, which enables you to share your knowledge that you've acquired on the journey as a past life regression therapist. And I'm sure you're changing so many lives. Welcome, Riddhi. Lovely.
Thank you so much.
So I'm surprised to know, and I want to know, what is it that got you to come to the training at Rishikesh in 2014?
It all started when I was in class 9, and I so much used to watch that one serial called Tum Bin Jaun Kahan. I'm sure many of us can relate to that serial. So it was, I think, the first Hindi serial which was related with past lives, where the souls made a promise, or I would say, where two human beings or two lovers made a promise of being together forever, and this girl died. And but because the souls had made a promise, she had to return back. So now this guy is about 25 years and the girl is zero, like she's an infant now, the same soul. So this guy gets married, and when this girl gets about 4 to 5 years of age, she starts creating the whole drama trouble in this guy's marriage, but no one knows what's going on. Only the souls know their contract, not the
Correct.
humans.
Correct.
So yes, I was so much into it. And then few years later, when you were doing Ras Pichle Janam Ka, oh my God, I was so much into that also. It made me so much more curious, like that this is something real which can be explored. And so I was so much busy in my life after that. 2009, I joined the corporate world, the busy corporate world, as everyone does, after completing my bachelor's of technology. And then 2010, when I joined Wipro in Bangalore, after the 3 months of my training, when we came back to Greater Noida, one of my batchmates gave a book named Two States. I was not into books at all at that time. Like that was something like, what? Will I read a book? No. But I came back to Greater Noida with that book and with no intention of reading it. Yes, when we joined this location, there was no project at all. They gave us so much free time. And how to kill your free time now? I chose to read that book at that time, and I got so much enthused. Now I was into books. Love story after love story, one after another. 2 days, one book. Oh my God! Like
Wow.
now I'm asking, everyone, do you have another love story? Do you have another love story? Until one day I found this book titled "Only Love Is Real" in my friend's bed. Thinking it's a love story, I grabbed that book, started reading it. Just 2 pages into it, and I was stunned. You know, something is validating what I had seen few years back, like
Right.
first in class ninth and then later on. So I got to know there are people who can help you find out the past lives. And that intrigued me so much. After that, I don't remember having read a single love story novel. I only read the past lives books, the self-help books, and I read all 5 Brian Weiss books to know more about the subject. And especially that Only Love is Real was so much special to me because, again, it was two souls reunited after so many births. It was very, very special. So I gave a read to all books. And so all this started in 2010.
Right.
2012, I got married.
Okay.
I told my husband, like, this is my passion and I want to do something like this. I want to explore my relation with you. And he was not into it. He was like, no, why do you need it?
Yeah.
For me, a person can have only one soulmate, and that is either the wife or the husband. So that was me about 8 years ago. So I wanted to explore that relation. And he was totally against it to a point that we did not talk about this topic again for one complete year at our home. But my friends who knew me well, they knew about the fire within me. And they usually used to ping me, like, how's it going with that topic, you know? And it burnt me somewhere. It gave me a fire somewhere inside. So, like a year later, in July 2014, a friend pinged me again to talk about it. And this time I was in front of the computer, started surfing internet again. And I recall I have watched Raz Pichle Janjanam Ka. Why shouldn't I search for Dr. Trupti Jain? I searched for you, I reached your website, and there on the homepage of the website, it was in the bold letters that a therapist training is going to happen in Rishikesh in December 2014. So 6 more months to go. I was in Singapore, enough time to convince my husband, came home totally determined. Today I'm going to talk to him about it, no matter what. So I came home and I told him about it. The lines that moved him were, वरुण अगर मैं इस जन्म में नहीं करूंगी ना तो मुझे दोबारा आना पड़ेगा सिर्फ यही करने के लिए.
Okay.
I think this thing came and he was like, okay, then just do it. But inside he knows he was not convinced.
Right.
So Abhilasha only knows how many emails she exchanged with Varun to convince him. And when I reached Rishikesh on the first day, she asked, Tum Riddhi ho?
She already knew you because of the emails.
Yes, because so many emails were being exchanged between her and Varun.
Yeah.
So yes, there the journey started. I was finally at Rishikesh, but he was not convinced anyways. So those 7 days, and then the miracle happened, which was totally not expected. like on a flight back from Dehradun to New Delhi. You don't know this episode, but I have to tell you this.
Okay.
There was a seat vacant next to you,
Mhm.
and I was sitting with Tarun already.
Okay.
I know how I wanted to sit with you and spend those special 45 minutes with you. But because I was already seated and it would be rude to get up and then go,
Mhm.
and so I just kept sitting. The moment we reached Delhi airport, Varun was waiting for us there because I had told it's Trupti ma'am's birthday. So
Yes.
we'll get together something. And he brought his favorite sweets from Amritsar for you.
Yes, I remember.
We gave them to you, not hoping that you would stop us at all. So I was expecting the goodbyes there, but
Yeah.
you were so sweet and you said, "आओ cafe में बैठते हैं." That
Uh,
was like, a miracle for me because I was just cribbing for those 45 minutes
45 minutes.
and God had planned good 2 hours for me and Varun with you. And that was a very special moment for us. So I'm sure you remember 2 hours in
I
2000.
remember. I remember meeting Varun and you and both of us. I mean, talking about the training, and he was asking a lot of questions, and I think that must have kind of shifted him in some way, that accepted that okay, my wife wants to do past life therapy, maybe she's going to pursue a different line of work. So did that
Not
change after that, or
very
it took some time?
huge shift because you answered his questions so patiently and so lovingly, and he poured out all the questions and you answered all of them. And there was a huge shift. He got a huge respect for the profession I may choose in future. And there was a fear that I may not be able to pursue it when I go back to Singapore, but because you had answered all the questions, there was no such thing, and I happily pursued it when I went back to Singapore. So thank you
Wow.
so much for that. I was not at all expecting it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that it really made that much of a difference, but thank you for letting me know. So, Riddhi, let's talk a little bit about the training. And I remember the whole inner child work that I did with you. And tell me a little bit about how that work changed you and what was it that you were seeking for when you came in the first place?
So I came to the training just to explore my relationship with Varun. So that was the key. And I told you there is a huge void inside me. There is no reason, but there's still a void. And then you had planned a session with me. Like you said, okay, we'll do the inner child work with you. And if we want to include, we'll include the forgiveness session with you. And so you asked me to remember some past lives and where this void comes from. First of all, you asked me to feel that void deeply, as deep as I could. And then you asked me to, okay, go to that life or go to that time in your life where this void comes from. And I remember suddenly there was such a sad feeling that I started crying automatically. Like I didn't see anything, nothing like that. It was a feeling. So I think I'm a very feeling type of person rather than seeing story as such. So, and then you took me to my younger times, like when I was young in the same lifetime. I think that was the time a lot of feelings got released. How I was crying, and I got to know how I was so lonely from that time because I remember I was so quiet as a child, and it was more of a discipline at our home rather than I would say the communication. So it was less communication. So I think the only best friends that I had in my childhood was my books. So I, my room, and the books, these were the best companions always. And I was not at all social. I wouldn't say not so social. I was not at all social. So my books were my best friends. And I think as time passed by, I only remember that. And so he asked me to remember some events, and that was when I started crying and the feeling started releasing. There was a lot of release. I'm sure you remember that.
Yes.
And so the way you did inner child healing for me, you did inner child work with me, and then you set up a holy fire. You asked me to burn all those incidents in that fire and forgive the past, which I did, again crying profusely. And after that, a very, very beautiful process was done by you. You asked me to hug the inner child. Oh my God. I think I had missed that maybe. Hugging the own younger self was so warm, so loving. And after all this cleansing process, you asked me to write a letter to myself. And I think I still have that letter, by the way. The very first line that I wrote to myself was, love yourself, don't seek it in others. So, and that has made such a remark on me. It's such a shift. I wouldn't say it was a dramatic shift. I didn't change overnight, but my personality changed for better. I started opening out. I started expressing myself. I started becoming social. So as you communicate, as you express yourself, you become social to the point I'm a trainer today. I can't stop talking. You can see it already.
And that is the huge shift, because you can have a mental shift, you can have a shift in your emotions, but when you have a shift in your behavior, in your action, which is what is visible now to me, Riddhi, it is phenomenal, because now you can make a difference in the lives of so many more people. And the next child who comes to you, who's also maybe shy and withdrawn and feeling a little lonely, you'll know exactly what to do with them. So
And
I'm
actually, I have,
sure that's what happens.
yes, yes, it does. Yes, so I see myself in the children. I feel for them actually. I'm so empathetic towards them. I talk to their parents and try to give some tips and tricks that I have acquired from you, how important they are. Because I think the parents are so busy giving good lives to their children that they forget what really is important for them. Is it materialistic thing, or is it the time they spend with the children, or the quality time they spend with the children? Especially for those first 6 years in the life, which are very,
Absolutely.
very important. Yeah.
That's true. That's true, Riddhi. And this is the problem with most people. Little children, you can give them goodies on their birthday, and through the year, you can take them out and make them eat in the fanciest of places. But if you don't really increase their self worth, which comes by spending time with them, talking to them, then of course it's a waste. And who knows better than somebody who has been shy and withdrawn, and miss the kind of touch that makes a person feel alive. And I think, Riddhi, you do understand, and I think you do talk about the sense of touch and how important it is now. Can you share a little bit on that?
I think the only self worth I was trying to find all in my childhood was with my books by standing first in the class all the time. I would get praise from parents, from teachers, from everyone around. So probably that was the only way I was finding my self worth. And um, so yes, I mean, I remember when you asked me to hug the younger myself.
Yes.
I remember I thought like how much I had missed that, and that made me cry so much. The touch is so, so important. The cuddles, the hugs for the children.
Yes.
And I remember you told us like first 2 years of a child, especially the child should always be hugging the mother, like because that is how they develop the sense of trust and security. That comes handy later in the life as well. So yes, so that was quite a moving experience for me.
Right.
So it is not only one thing that I have changed my career. I think there have been so many changes that I can't put in my words. But yes, I have changed a lot since then.
So, Riddhi, when your members of your family meet you who have known you since you were a child, do they see this shift or not?
Huge shift. Even my husband, when he met me after 7 days of that training, he said, "You look happier." I said, I thought in my mind, yes, a lot of release has happened. Why wouldn't I?
Awesome, really wonderful. Past life therapy, many people understand it in their own ways. So, Riddhi, how would you like to explain an experience that you have when you have past life therapy? Uh, Can we just share how this experience comes to people?
Sure. So, when you were going to do a session on me, I was expecting a past life therapy, honestly, because that was what I came with, probably discovering my relationship with my husband. But I was so stuck with my own definition of past life that I was not so happy when I didn't see a past life. Little did I know what I'm experiencing is helping me much more than what I'm expecting. So then one of my therapist friends, one of our own colleagues, did a past life session on me. And again, I was not seeing any storybooks or anything like that. But I remember I had strong flashes. I saw presence of one of my very good friends in one of the lifetimes, and he has been my friend since childhood. And I remember I got hit by a car. So again, there was this flashing scene. I got hit by a car, and I also told that I got hit by a car in front of this college. So my therapist friend asked, "Okay, which college is it? Can you read the name?" My conscious mind said, "Say Amritsar College of Engineering and Technology," because that is where I did my engineering. But I didn't want to disappoint my friends. So I said, I thought for a second and something came out from my head and it was Maharaja. I would never have uttered this name of the college when I'm conscious. So this lady was from Jaipur and she knows that there is Maharaja College and she says, "Oh, wo to Jaipur mein hai." And we literally searched the internet. There is Maharaja College in Jaipur, which I was totally unaware of before my session. And so, what I learned through my sessions is trust the process. I haven't had marvelous experiences, but I think all sessions that I have done on myself have taught me to trust the process. And initially, the sessions I did on others again taught the same thing to me. I think I am meant to do it on others rather than someone else doing it on me. Because, anyways, when you do it on someone else, a part of you gets healed because the
Absolutely.
divine consciousness is flowing through you. So,
Absolutely.
yes,
And I think, what you needed, you got. You needed that inner child healing to make that shift, and that's exactly what you got. Because, like you rightly said
absolutely.
just now, that your consciousness knows what's good for you and what you need. So it felt this is what you
Yes.
need, and that's what you got. So wow. So then, Riddhi, with all this awareness, how are you working with your clients? And can you share a couple of experiences which you felt have really moved you?
Oh, I have had a wonderful experiences with my clients. The very first client who came to me again had relationship issues, and she came with this relationship issue that she loved two guys. There was no priority. She just loved two boys. And the another drama that was happening in her life was a very, very bad relationship with her mother. So she came to me, "Okay, let's do the past life." I said, "Okay." And then she was a very good subject. Immediately, she was in trance. She sees herself as a princess in Europe wearing a long floral dress. And slowly, like when she got married, so the guy whom she got married to was the unmarried guy she now loved. So
Okay.
in the present lifetime, one of those guys is married and another one is not married.
Hmm.
So the previous lifetime husband was this unmarried guy, and later on in their life, they had a son, and the son's soul was the married guy. So there was a natural love for him, and so she got these two reasons. She was happy. Slowly, what happened after a few years, she sees herself and her son alone and is very sad. And when I asked her the reason, she said, "My mother-in-law separated me and my husband." And when I asked her to see the mother-in-law closely, she was her present life mother.
Okay.
And for no reason, this mother does not want her daughter to marry that guy. Like, the mother has never met the guy, but she always says no. So, yes, this was quite an eye opener for this girl. And then we did a forgiveness session, especially between the mother and the daughter, like the same one you had done for me. And so after that session, she said, I feel like I'm breathing fresh air today. I asked her to see the cord, the connecting cord between herself and the mother, and that was black in color.
Okay.
So, yes, and then she forgave that guy also who could not fulfill his responsibility in one of the lifetimes.
Mhm.
And she felt like as if she's been freed from some karmic bondage with him. And very surprisingly, just a week later after the session, this guy got engaged with someone else. And this girl was totally fine. And she said, 1 week before, I have freed him from the karmic bondages already, and I'm fine with that. She
Wow.
was okay, but she was still exploring the relationship with the mother. So she took, I think, about 2 to 3 more sessions with me. And with every session, she was so surprised. Even I was so surprised at that time. Uh, she told me how her mother was changing for the positive. And like today, they have a very good relation. There is no such issue. So,
Wow.
yes, that was quite a moving experience for how, seriously, yes, how the past life impact your present lives. And once you let go of something the past hurts, you are healed. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So I think client sessions have been really good for you. Very nice.
They have been,
Yeah.
yes. I
Any other
remember
session?
because when I was in the process of trusting the process myself, and I got this client who saw himself as a prince in the fort of Firozgarh. I knew there was something called Firozgarh, but this guy validated the fact, okay, it is coming from the memory, so believe it. So, yes. And one of the very interesting sessions, if you remember my roommate Manjuma in
Yes,
at
yes.
during
Yes, I
so
remember.
she was suffering from peanuts allergy,
Mhm.
but she loved the peanuts at the same time. So when she flew from US to Rishikesh for this training, I think the flight attendant served her a packet of peanuts, and she had it. When she reached in the training, she was fully bloated, nausea, vomiting, and so on. Symptoms were being shown, and she was not too happy with that. It was the first day of training still. So we thought to give her a hypnotherapy session instead of a past life session. I think, yes, I showered the white light and that process. So yes, 7 days passed after that. She went back to US, and on the flight attendants again served the peanuts to her. And this time she really wanted to test whether it worked or not. She had it. She was fine after going to US. She again started chewing on these peanuts. And after that, she never got that allergy again. And
And
it was existing for so many years, like lifetime, I think, but she is just fine now after that small hypnotherapy session.
wow, Riddhi. That's how actually confidence develops, when you do this work slowly and steadily.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now, Riddhi, you are yourself a trainer
Mhm.
uh, in children's services. So, how are you utilizing all your knowledge now that you've gained into training and post that with your clients when you work with children?
I think the inner healing that you had done for me has worked wonders for me, and I'm very empathetic towards children. Like since then, I wouldn't say I targeted to the children's industry. I did not. It came to me actually. So when I moved to Australia, I got an opportunity to do this diploma of children's services. I was still pursuing my IT job, and at the same time, I enrolled in this diploma. And suddenly, after 6 months, I think, like all the forces were telling me, can you quit IT now? Is the time? So, like, I had to quit it finally. And I had no clue where I was heading to. And then in a month or so, I got this job in the children's services. I worked with 5 to 12 years ages of children. I have watched them so closely in a year. I have developed such trusting relationships with them because for me, it is seeing past the face that you are seeing. Like behind an angry child is a scared child, is what I see. So I have worked with this one child for last 1 year. He looks very angry. He's very competitive. So like maybe he was like me, I would say, oh, he always wants to stand first in everything. He wants to be the chosen one for the teacher. And if you won't choose him, he would like throw all the toys, throw anger tantrums, and so on, or hit someone even. But I have also observed that how he loves the little things. If he finds a feather, he would keep it so close to him and would ask me every day, where is my feather, that little feather? And once he was sitting in a group of children where they were talking about soldiers and army, and they took a word death, and this guy immediately stood up and started shouting, can you stop saying this word please?
Right.
I, like others thought he is shouting and he's angry, but I knew that this guy is somewhere scared. So I spoke with him and I was like, oh, what's happening? He's only 5 years old, believe me.
My God. Yes.
I get bad dreams at night. I get scared. So behind that angry child is a scared child. And I just love working with such children. There's so many issues, like they will throw the tantrums, but they have trust issues. So yes, it's been fabulous working with them. And after a year now, I have transitioned as a trainer. Now I'm training the adults how to deal with the children. It has been a beautiful journey. It is just all coming and not chosen by me. It's so beautiful. I'm just taking the signs and walking ahead. That's it.
Wow. So I think the word trust, which you developed when you came to the training, has actually yielded fruits to you, fruits for you. That's so beautiful, Riddhi.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yes,
Very
very
nice.
much.
So, Riddhi, have you had any spiritually laden experiences? You know, people have these experiences of, especially in your dreams and stuff like that, signs and symbols. Do you have any such experiences?
Yes, and I think they all started after my training.
Really?
Now I'm recalling everything. Yes. So after the training, when I went back to Singapore, I remember I started having dreams of. I've heard the term automatic writing, but I think I was auto reading. Like
Okay.
there was a blank book, and when I started reading it, I read one word, and only then the second word would appear. I read that, and then only the third word would appear. It all made so much sense in the dream. But as soon as I woke up, I remembered nothing. But I knew how close that book or that reading was to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I had multiple dreams like that, not just one. And very recently, I am having this amazing dream of being so light and that I can travel by just flying. Like I can
Okay.
climb down the stairs flying or go from one place to another. And interestingly, I'm very much attracted to space related TV serials. And I think I got to know through a channel that I think I have had 4 different lifetimes in different galaxies, which is why I may be having such experiences and attracted towards the space related episodes. Now I believe in the science so much. Like at the beginning of this year, on January 1, when everyone makes their New Year resolutions. And my New Year resolution was I was praying like anything, just let me get closer to my life path. What is the purpose of my life? I don't want to waste any more life. In this year, I should know the purpose of my life. And on that very day, I don't know how, I opened this book called The New Earth and the Three Waves of Volunteers. I'm not sure if you've come across that
No, I
book.
haven't come
And
across that.
it opened my arena so much that it is not only until the past lives. There are so many lives in different galaxies, different universes, and in the form of a light or in the form of a crystal, not just humans. Or so I took about 6 months to finish that book. When I have finished it, I think the craving went so much. And after that, after finishing that book, within a few days, I attended a webinar and they taught how to do Agnihotra. And I picked up that practice. It seems to me as if I have been doing it forever, or I have picked up some practice from the past life and I am continuing it now. That craving has settled down. I'm still not sure whether this is my purpose, like because through Agnihotra also, you are healing the planet, you are healing the environment, like how your life changes. And I have seen those miracles happening in my life, how my life has changed, how the lives of the people around me have changed. And I'm sure the environment is getting better. But that craving that was on January 1st, 2020 until June 2020 has settled a bit. And I feel so much happier. I'm sure I am on the way of exploring so much yet. There's a lot to explore. I am just trusting the signs and going forward now.
Wow, this is something very interesting, Riddhi. So, wow, moving from hugging your own inner child to now hugging others' inner children is
Oh,
an
yes.
amazing journey that you've taken. Yes,
And I think still some part of me is healed when I help in the healing of others. It's
yes,
such a beautiful process and I can feel it every day.
yes, absolutely. So, Riddhi, any message you want to give people who are listening to you about
Yes,
how to move towards your heart's purpose, which is what you did?
sure. So I have three messages. One for the parents and the adults who are working with children or who are surrounding the children. Never ever shame the children in front of others. They may look to you is only 1 year old or 2 year old or 5 year old. Never do that to them. You are killing one part of the child, every time you're doing it. Second one is for the people like me, or I would say those who have not gone through the past life therapies yet and they want to, but they still don't know what to expect. I would say don't expect anything. Come with open arms, and you will be amazed to see what you achieve from that. And to my therapist friends, I'm sure you already do that, but just to reinforce, surrender yourself to the divine. When we think we are just an instrument and not the healer, actually, miracles happen. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow, Riddhi. And I can tell everybody that Riddhi herself is like a miracle because she has actually understood and imbibed that when you heal yourself, not only a part of you gets healed, but that part that gets healed is then becoming an instrument for you to move forward towards your purpose. So, Riddhi, I'm very happy that you found your purpose in life and now you're going to heal many more. So I wish you all the luck and all my love. Thank you
Thank you
for
so
speaking to
much. And
us.
thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
my love. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you.
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते।